Hello everyone, welcome back to the full stack web development course where we will be able to build a full stack web application like a Stack Overflow clone. In the previous lectures, we have seen HTML, CSS as well as JavaScript. In today's lecture, we are going to just go through reactjs. Before that, we are going to install reactjs through node.js, and as well as we are just going to see the fundamentals as well as basics of React. So within few lectures coming up, the basic lectures. After that, we will be just developing the live project, the Stack Overflow clone. So first, open the browser of your kind, what you want, and go to the website called nodejs.org. So in the official website of nodejs.org, just go ahead and install the latest version or the recommended version, whatever you want. So just install that. So just download it first and then install it. So after you have installed that, just open your command prompt or terminal. So in Windows, you will be able to open the command prompt, as well as in Mac, you wanna just open the terminal. So what you can do here, just create a directory named React or whatever or what you want or the you can just create a directory of React in the C directory or D directory in Windows or in the root directory itself in Mac. So wherever you want, and just navigate to that directory in the terminal or the command prompt and just enter npx create. So before that, just make sure that you have installed node by just typing node-v. Just hit enter. It should say the version name of the current node package. So I have installed 16.2.0. So then make sure that npm is installed by just hitting npm-v and hit enter. So it should say the current version of npm. What we are going to use is, in my case, it is 17.13.0. So just make sure with these two commands that node as well as npm has been installed. So the next thing, we are going to just create our React project. So to create that, just enter npx create dash react dash app and enter the project name, React project name, whatever you want. In this case, I'm just going to enter my app. So my app is going to be our project name. So let me just hit enter. So it should create a React app for me with my app as the directory name. So that's what is going on here. It is just downloading all the dependencies and installing that, so we can work with React. So we will just wait for that to get installed. So I think it's almost there. So if it shows happy hacking, then our React app is successfully installed. So now if you just hit ls in Mac, or I think dir in Windows, I think, hit enter. So you can see my app is here. Is a lot of projects what I have already done. If you see here, here is the my app, which is the current directory which we have created. So let me just close this now, and I'm just going to open the VS Code, and I'm just going to open the particular my app directory. So let me just go to the full screen. So it is in the previous directory what I have worked in the previous lectures. So let me just open a new or my app directory. So I'm just going to open, and here I am just going to route to the, so here as well as the projects here as well as the React. Inside I'm just going to my app and I'm just gonna open. So it is getting open. So here our directory name my app is visible, and inside that we have few directories as well as few files. You can see now the package is on yarn. So yarn, instead of using yarn you can also use npm as well. Both do the same thing. There's no difference between yarn as well as npm because they are just the name differs as well as the technologies, but the purpose is the same thing. So inside the node modules, there will be a lot of dependencies already pre-installed for us to work with the React, as well as inside the public folder. So before getting into these things, let me just run our React app in the browser. So open the terminal in the VS Code. So you can see it is already inside the my app. If it is not inside my app, then just do cd my app to get inside the my app, and then enter npm yarn start. If yarn lock is present, then do yarn start. If package lock is present, then do npm start. So hit enter. You can see it starts the React script. This start, where this start command comes from. If you go ahead and open package.json file, you can see here some dependencies are installed already, which is nothing but React on. Sorry. So you you can see our app is starting the development server, so it automatically opened the browser here. So let me just sorry, what I'm just gonna do, going to make it as a separate thing, and I'm just going to put it here. So you can see our app is live here. So if you just do yarn start or npm start, it automatically opens the React app in the web browser for us nicely. So here is the React project is now live and it is getting loaded in the local host. You can see it is on localhost 3000 port number. So it shows like to edit the React project. We are gonna just go into src/appjs. So we will get into that as soon as possible. So let me just come here. So I was explaining about package.json. So in the package.json there are something called as scripts. So this start script has something called React scripts start. So that's what happened here. So as soon as I enter yarn start, it comes to the start command, and what start command has a React scripts space start. So that's what happened there. So the yarn start, the start is replaced with yarn React scripts and then followed by start. That's what the so these dependencies are nothing but React dependencies. With the help of these dependencies only we can run the React app. So that's all about package.json. We will use and refer this a lot about package.json and in the upcoming classes. So let me just close this. And this gitignore file is something related to pushing this this file into the git. So we will cover when we are in the deploying part of the live project, we will cover about this git. So now let me just talk about this node modules. So there's a relationship between the node modules as well as the package. So whatever the dependencies here is present, these dependencies will be installed in the node modules. Here are the packages for this corresponding dependencies name. If this is the dependency name, then this is the corresponding package which has been installed for this dependency name. That's what is the relationship between packages and as well as node modules. Inside the public folder, we will be having the index HTML, which is the root HTML page of our complete website. So let me just close this and now just compress this as well. So now you can see it is similar to our HTML document which we have seen in the HTML lecture video. So it also has the doc type HTML lang equals en, which means the language is English, which tells the browser that our HTML file is in language English as well. And we do have some meta tags here, which is used to which is used to do something with the SEOs. So here we have a linked favicon. This favicon is nothing but if I just open another page. So you can see here the title is React. So where's our title? You can see the title tag is here, and we do have a React tab. So let me just replace it with our first React tab. So you can see I have done first React tab, and you can see here. So if you just refresh, you can see here is the title first React tab. As well, here is an icon for us. You can see here is a React icon. So this icon comes here through this where it is through this favicon. So this rel equals icon, and this public URL is nothing but the local host, as well as this favicon.ico is nothing but it comes from here. You can see here is something called favicon.ico. So this is the icon which is present here. So we have just imported this icon in the favicon. So like so, and we will be having a logo and the manifestation. These things are unwanted, so we can eliminate these comments as well as the two extra things. Let's close this, as well as we don't need this comment also. We'll just make the code clean. So you can see inside the body here is a no script. This tag indicates that just gives a message if there is not, if JavaScript is disabled in this browser, this message is delivered to the user. So that's what no script means. So inside the body tag we do only have only one element called div element. Inside that we do have id which is equals root. This id of this div element is nothing but root. We will learn about this root later of this lecture. So now, so we don't need this logo or logo 512.png, these things, as well as manifest.json. These are just extra things which are not necessary. We can just delete those things just like this, like so. We'll just leave this favicon as well as index.html. So inside the major part of this lecture is going to be the src, which indicates source. Inside that there's a file called app.js. So app.js is the only thing is where we write the code. So everything what we write as individual components will be brought inside this app.js. So you can see here is a header and an image of src logo, which indicates this logo, as well as a p tag it shows edit soc and save to reload, which indicates this text, as well as it has a tag, indicates this lane react, like so. So that's what about app.js. We will get into this. I will talk about this later. So this app test is unnecessary. So this app.js also do have the app css do also have the app css. We have imported the app css where our css of the react app will be present here. So we will use app css many times in our course. So then the next thing is going to be index.js, which is the major thing. So this is the root file of this entire React app. After that HTML file, let me just explain what this index.js means. So here we have imported React as well as React DOM. So as well as we have imported the app. This app is nothing but the app.js. This CSS is nothing but the index CSS part of this page. That's what it means. So this app is imported from this app.js. So here there's a code called react DOM.render. So what actually React does? How it renders the client side. So let me just explain. If you have, let me just clear these things, clear everything inside here, and just leave with the empty h1 tag. H1 tag like hello world, like so. So you can see as soon as I enter h1 with the hello world, it is reflected in the browser. You can see that. So how it is done? So let me just explain. So this h1 is inside this app. So this app is a function which has been exported. So we have just exported this export default app. So sorry, let me just okay. So we have written an individual component called app. So we have just exported it. So in the index.js file, we have just imported that app as a name of app. So and then what we have done, the app, we have rendered that app. So you can see react DOM.render. Within that we have a parent components called react strict mode, which is nothing but these things are default for to render a react app, and inside that we have provided the component of our kind, which is nothing. In this case it is an app. So and then where we are gonna render it, we are gonna just render it in the document.get element by id of root. Where this root comes from? So the document, in the HTML document where this ID root is present, we are gonna just go to the next HTML. You can see the ID root is contained by this div element inside the HTML document. So in the HTML document, we do have the ID as root in the body of the div element. So these contents of app just goes into this index.js, and what index.js does, it just renders the app inside this root. So where is this root? This root is inside the body element. Inside that it is inside the div element. So whatever you do in the the app.js, it goes to the index file and then it goes to the index.html file. So that's how React renders everything what you enter inside the app. So So the other things are nothing but app.test.js, which is not needed, as well as logo.s svg is also not needed, setup test also not treated, as well as report items. Those things are not needed, and you can just exclude these unwanted lines. So we can also exclude this. So now we can just reload. So now the browser has no error, it displays hello world. So that's how React actually technically works inside. Whatever you do inside the app goes to the index.js and it goes to the index.html here. So you can see now if I go to the inspect element and then open the elements, you can see inside the body we have the div tag with the root id, and inside that we have the app div tag of the app class, and inside that we have the h1. These div this div of root comes from the index.html, and this div of app and hello world comes from this app.js. So that's how React renders JavaScript. Using JavaScript, React renders every tags into the HTML folder. So that's how it works. So while using React, we don't want to create multiple HTML files like index HTML, about HTML, contact HTML. That's what we have done in the HTML lecture. So that's why I don't want to talk about HTML more in the HTML lecture, because this course mainly concentrate in React.js. So many things differs in React. So that's why I wanted it to be minimal. So because you don't want to get confused. So that's a quick walkthrough of these directories in the my app. So now we don't need this index HTML as well as index.js. So we can eliminate that. And now, so what are these? What is JSX? So before getting into JSX, we will just learn about some fundamentals of React. So, React fundamentals, essential things to learn as a React developer. Just a quick information dump. So, what are the prerequisites to learn React? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's what we have seen in the previous lectures, as well as we do just know minimum knowledge in JavaScript, so you can become a React developer. So that's why I have taught about JavaScript in the last lecture. So basic data structures or data types like variables, objects, and arrays. I have we have seen this in the earlier lectures, as well as array methods like map, filter, and reduce. So these things we will see in the upcoming lectures. You should be familiar with the functions. So we have seen in the last lecture. So we should be familiar with fetch, API, async, as well as await. These are some reserved keywords in JavaScript. We will use these things in the upcoming lectures, as well as DOM. So we have seen some DOM things in the last lecture. So that's what some prerequisites for a React developer to learn React. So the next thing is the basics of React. The basics, so we do have structured JSX elements. We need to know, so what is JSX first? JSX stands for JavaScript extension, which is similar to HTML, but we can create our own JSX by writing few components. So those JSX tags may be similar to XML tags. If you have learned or if you are familiar with XML, you will know we can write custom tags in XML. So we can name it crazy. So that's like we can also do in JSX also. And then you need to know how to split JSX into components as well. And you need to know how the JSX elements are rendered, which I have taught earlier in this lecture. I have told about this in the index.js file, how the app component is rendered, and the props, what are the props, which are nothing but the parameters of the components, as well as, yeah, event handlers. What we have seen in the last lecture of JavaScript, we have seen about event handlers, but in React we will see much more about that. So I think that's all about the basics. Now we will just go to the programming part of the basics. So these elements inside written, the everything inside the written is nothing but called as a JSX. So this div tag, h1 tag is nothing but a JSX. So this app is a function, but this is also known as a component in React. So this is an app is now an individual component. So that's what we have exported. So this is a default export. We can also export individual functions, which we learn in the upcoming classes. So let me just talk about this JSX elements. We do have JS. This JSX is equivalent to HTML tags. So we do have H2 tag or H3 tag, H4, H5, H6, as well as we do have P tags. So if you want to autocomplete, if you I enter P and hit enter, it won't just autocomplete the P tag. If you want to do that, what you can do, you can just go down here and just hit JavaScript, and here you can just say React. So here we do have JavaScript React, hit enter. So now if you enter P and enter it, hit the enter button, it must auto complete your tag, and we can say Manoj Kumar is teaching, right? So it is immediately reflected in the browser. Here you don't need any live server to run your project, because React itself has a server and it is just running in the browser, your browser localhost 3000. So React really makes your life simple by having JSX. So this is all about JSX. Now you need to know how to write individual components. So that's how we can split JSX. So what we can do, we can just create a folder called components. Inside that, I'm just going to have a file called hello world.jsx. So this X denotes that this app is about React. So you don't want to now go down here and hit it and just enter React and just you have to click this, because it is already configured as JavaScript React. So it reduces your time to just go down here and format this file to React, so you can save some time. And there is a extension which you can use, is nothing but called ES7 ES7 React Redux GraphQL. So this extension is really awesome. You can just install this. So I have already installed this, you can see. So just close this. So what it does, it can just auto-complete. But what you have to write at the beginning, you have to write a function, and you have to name the function as hello world. So and you have to have a parenthesis and open the curly, and you have to just export default hello world. So if you are exporting it as a default component, then the file name should be the same as the function name if you are exporting it as a default. So or else it is not necessary to have the same for the file name as well as the function name. You can have different names of your kind of what you want. And excuse me, give me a minute. So now you can write a function and just export it default. So you can export it by default, or what you can do, you can just export it here itself. So now it is a lot more simpler. You can just do export function hello world, name the function and give a parenthesis to pass parameters, which is called props in React especially. And you can just do something like parenthesis, and this code can be written here, and you can return JSX by just having a return keyword and a pair of parentheses, hit enter, and just return what elements you need. Like I don't want to return a h1 here, but I can just return h3 with a hello world, like so. But let me just say bye world, because we have already seen hello world here. So now what you can do, you can import this hello world in the app. So how I can import that? I have to just say import hello world. So now if you see it, by default we do have, it is recommended that hello world is from components hello world, that's what it means. But hello world from, sorry, I have to give a space here, from dot slash. So from we are here dot slash, we have components, inside that we have a world. That's what we are going to do. Dot slash components as well as slash hello world. So you don't want to write the extension of this file hello world.js or jsx. You can just leave it as the same. So that's how you can import the component. So now, so we have imported it. So before that, let me just ignore this as a individual export. Let me just do a export default first. Export default hello world. So let me just save this now. So here we have imported the hello world, but we do have to use this hello world inside this app component. So how we can do that? We can write JSX like hello world. So now this component is a self-closing component, which we have already seen in HTML, but we can also write it as a non-self-closing component like hello, sorry, hello world, like so. So it is also a good thing. We can do this as a non-self two tags, open tag and a close tag, but we can also do it as a self-closing tag like slash and then close angle bracket. So that's how we can use. So you can see the by world is here. So what this why we are writing separate components. This increases code reusability. So I can just copy this many times as I want. I can just have many I will here. So which is a nice, which is a good thing, and React with the code reusability increases a lot more time. So if I don't want to export it default, so if I want to just export it as a individual function, and here I'm just going to say hello, and I'm just going to sorry I'm just going to say hello, and I'm just going to copy this and paste it down. So here I'm just going to have a function called by. So let me just have a by here. So now I have exported two functions from the same file. So there's no default function for this hello world.jsx file. There are two individual export for this file. So how I can import both of the things in the app? So I can go here. What I can do, I can just open a curly and close curly. So inside that, I can just also have a Bible. So this is how we can import multiple functions or multiple components from a single file. So in the hello world.jsx file, we have two components called hello world and by world. So and I can include I can just import both of that from a single file, which is a good thing in React to. So if it is an individual export, there's no default export. We do need to have include these curly braces. If this is a default export, then we don't need these things. We can just import only one uh, component like hello world or by world, whatever is inside this file. So we can also have a component of by world. So just fresh, you can see the by world is also here. So this is how we can increase the code, write individual components for our React app. So here we can also pass parameters for this function. So at the end of hello world may be a component, but end of the day it is a function. It is just a function. So uh, we can just pass parameters to this hello world. So how we can pass parameters? So here we can just have text equals, I can just give a string value as hello world, how are you, like so. And here I have passed a text value for this hello world. So how I can collect this text here? Here I can just say props. So here I have just included the props, and I can just eliminate this hello world, and I can just open a curly. I can just have a set brackets. Inside that I can just have a props dot text. So in the browser you can see hello world is replaced by hello world, how are you. So how I passed the prop, so the text equals hello world, how are you. So this star text goes here as a prop. So the prop expands to properties, which is nothing but parameters. You can see parameter props any. So this props I have collected, and in that prop we do have a text prop. So I have used that inside a h3. So whatever, if you need to use JavaScript inside sorry JSX, you have to use set brackets. So in HTML, we couldn't write JavaScript inside any HTML element, but in React, we could write JavaScript inside JSX element. That's the power of JavaScript. So you can just say props, or you can just have here set brackets. Inside that, you can just say text, and you can remove this props. So that's really good thing as well. So you don't want to write a prop, you can just have a set bracket, and inside that set bracket you just put the same name as what you are passing it here. If you are using as a text or txt, whatever it is, just put the same name here, and just use it inside the h3 tag or whatever tag you want. In a similar way, you can pass any text also here, like here I can say goodbye. So here I can just say text, and here also I can say text. So now if you just refresh, it says goodbye. So that's what it means. So with this, we end this lecture, and we will see in the next lecture with the hooks concept in React.